talking about cancel culture. The global warming, right, is sure messing with people's minds. 2 years ago, Venice flooded yet again, but sure enough, you know the story, yabba, 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 was all because of climate change, not of the tidal fluctuations that had actually been part of Venetian history for yonks. Well, now the canals of Venice have almost emptied. And there's the mayor again, reportedly saying, oh, it's all about global warming rather than tidal differences. But there is another big confusion caused by global warming. Now, the Art Society of one of Britain's top universities, Durham, we're going to have a portrait competition, Paint an Inspirational Woman. And they had a little list of potential subjects. They suggested like Margaret Thatcher. And of course, I mean, why not? Britain's first female Prime Minister and one of its best, inspirational, all right. But oh dear, she's a Conservative, or was. So now the Durham University Art Society has removed Thatcher from its list, apologised for ever including her, saying, considering Durham's history as a former mining town, the impact of Thatcher's policies of closing coal mines, as well as her homophobia, her inclusion was an error. But here's the crazy thing, because here we have woke students saying that Thatcher should be banned from being painted because she closed coal mines, yet this very day I read that other woke students, this time in Australia, are suing our Environment Minister for not closing coal mines. They say they're a menace, they cause global warming. Now, joining me as per each Monday is Brendan O'Neill, Britain's sharpest political commentator and editor of the online magazine Spiked. Brendan, before the break, I was talking about that Art Society competition at Durham University where they apologised for having included Margaret Thatcher on a list of suggested subjects for painting an inspirational woman. What do you make of that?
It's ridiculous. It shows that the left in this country and universities more broadly are still suffering from Thatcher derangement syndrome. Years after she died, they still think she was the most evil person ever. She can't even be, her name can't be mentioned in polite society. Her image can't be allowed to be put up anywhere. It's ridiculous. You know, partly it's ridiculous because Durham, where this university is, Durham has changed. In the 2019 election, when lots of former Labour voters swung to Boris Johnson's Conservative Party, two huge constituencies in Durham went Tory for the first time ever. Bishop Auckland had been voting Labour since 1918, and now it voted for Conservative. Durham North West has been voted Labour since 1950, and now it's voted Conservative. So the idea that the people in this former mining area are so offended by the Tories that they can't even have people painting an image of Thatcher, completely untrue. They have moved to the Conservative Party precisely because Labour and the left has sold them out by pursuing these kinds of culture war issues rather than listening to ordinary people.
But Brendan, here's the thing, the confusion I want to explore with you, because this is not just the only example. You've got a British artist also put Margaret Thatcher's head on a spike in her hometown of Grantham. I mean, talk about the left being compassionate. And that artist also said that he hated her for closing mines. He said, you know, mines closed down, and she was never a positive figure in our household growing up. He's Welsh. The thing is, why is she hated for closing coal mines when the woke left say coal mines are exactly what need to be closed if we're going to save the planet from, you know, this terrible global warming?
I mean, nothing reveals the hypocrisy and the ridiculousness of the modern left more than what you have raised right there, because they hate Thatcher because of the miners' strike of 1984 and 1985, a huge conflict in this country between miners and the Thatcher government. Thatcher closed down lots of mines. That's primarily why the left hates her. But of course, the left today, the eco-left and the green left, they are at the forefront of demanding the closure of mines, the forefront of demanding the closure of factories and airports and lots of other places that employ vast numbers of working class people. In fact, the government here wants to open a new coal mine in Cumbria, and the left is raging against it, and it looks like they could well be successful. This is a mine that would have provided well-paid manual jobs for 500 people. That's 500 families whose lives would have been transformed by this. The local area would have had a huge amount of inward investment as a result. It would really have been lifted up a lot by the opening of this mine, but the left and environmentalists are raging against it, saying it will pollute the environment, etc., etc. They make Thatcher look like a rank amateur when it comes to closing mines and depriving people of a livelihood, because their psycho-environmentalism means they want to close absolutely everything that isn't perfectly clean. So complete hypocrisy from the left.
I can't wait to see artists of the left put, the head of a Greenpeace leader on a spike or a Greens leader on a spike for closing coal mines. I wonder if that'll ever happen. Brendan O'Neill, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Andrew.